Hey there, life changers. All right, we have been talking literally for an hour. Like our whole team call is over, and we haven't even gotten to the main topic because we have just been being real with each other about our results and how to continue getting results. But I did want to open up the floor, open up for the girls who did go to Summit and share. And Melinda started sharing. I was like, man, this is such good stuff. I'm going to hit record. And so, Melinda, please share with us, and Miriam was there too, so if you guys can share with us some huge takeaways from Summit 2017, we would appreciate it. So take it away, girl.
I was saying that my big takeaway was that speaker after speaker spoke of the fact that they, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever it was, whatever their number was, they started out in the very seats we were sitting in. They were in the audience. They saw somebody else speaking up on stage, and they said, well, if they can do it, why can't I? And if they're up there, I want to be up there. And so they set their motivations that way. And that my biggest thing was that they were basically just reiterating that not everybody starts out as a top coach. You don't start out with a following. You don't start out with an audience. Everybody's fumbling. Everybody's making mistakes. And I looked in my messages the other day and I wanted to do some follow-ups, and I realized that I sent somebody a message with the wrong name. So there goes that person. So it was Nicole, and I called her Renee because, yes, I cut and pasted. Embarrassing. But I'm like, oh, well, fail forward. And maybe I'll have a conversation with that lady some other time, or I don't know. So I'm just not even going to stress about it, not going to worry about it. But just the fact that was my huge takeaway, is that whatever I want, it's achievable because they did it. And so I'm not going to see it as, oh, that's good for them, because the same thing for my fitness. I used to watch the infomercials and, oh, how nice for them. They can do P90X and, that looks great. And I'd sit there eating my junk food at 1 a.m., and so no, I was never going to get those results. So I jumped in, started the program, I've gotten results, and I have to do the work. So as far as what I got out of it is, you just do the work, you do what you know you're supposed to, and you just keep plugging away at it, and you don't worry about the rest of it. So, and that what they have isn't unachievable. It is achievable. We just have to put it into work. And so that's kind of what I took away. That was a big thing. It just kept coming up. I'm apparently supposed to read that book, 5-minute something, or 5-second rule. That's it. Because it was recommended to me by my success partner, the lady on the plane I met, who was another dental hygienist. I sat on the plane to Summit next to another dental hygienist, which was amazing. She was reading it. Brendan, I think, and Darren both talked about it, and several speakers talked about it. And I was like, okay, I get it, God. I get it, universe. I'm supposed to read this book. So I just got it in the mail. So that's my next personal development. And it's just about not thinking too much, and just, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, send the message. Just do it and just get it out there. And so whatever it is you're stressing about or thinking about, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just do it. And so I tend to be a thinker. I tend to gather and research. I'm losing you guys. Hang on.
Ah, she's gone.
Her battery must have died.
Yes, my battery's been dying. All right, so Miriam, just so that, because it may take her a couple of minutes.
Yes, and I think I got a notification that my battery was going to die. Okay, so one of my takeaways I love, for one, being such a big company, I love that they really focus on relationship building. It's about building that relationship first. It's not about selling a challenge pack. It's not about selling anything. If you're not building that relationship, it means nothing. It really does. And so that was so consistent. Even Melanie Mitro, said that. And to me, I've been in other, direct sales companies, and it was not in this personal, manner. It was just like, okay, let's do this party and let's push the sales, and you got to get to this level. And it's about building relationships, and all of it will come. So that it's because they've built relationships throughout that time, and people keep watching. They talked about pick a program and finish it. If you have not completed a program, you need to complete it from beginning to end and show your results. It's not just about other people's results. It's about yours, because they're watching you. So I loved that. That was huge. That was huge for me. And I can't think of anything at this point. I feel like there's so much noise happening in my house.
No, I can't hear your noise. But that is huge. I love that build.
That was a big part.
Yeah, the build relationship part is so big, and I think that is why I did the groundwork before I started with Beachbody, but it was all about building relationships, even with those free groups for all of those, whatever, how long, a year and a half, 2 years before I even started Beachbody. And then even consistently, I'm not just posting the workouts and the shake, like I'm letting people see who I am, and people are following me. Like my number of followers are going up. I mean, I don't care if you're a boot salesman, you know what I mean? Boot salespeople, or boot people are going to like watch what it is that you're doing. So I love that about building relationships, because they get to that point where they trust you. And then that whole complete a program, you are exactly right. And I think that every time that I post somebody else's results and not my own, because it's like, they're not watching them. They're watching me. What is it doing for me? What is it doing for us? So those are great. Did you think of anything else? Or Miriam,
Me?
or we go back to Melinda, since she's back?
Actually, there was one more thing. I love that Shalene Johnson, she spoke, and she talked about how last year it was attraction marketing, right? Like attraction marketing, and this year it's curiosity marketing. So don't put everything out there, don't tell everybody everything that you're doing. Leave room for questions. Leave room for wait, what new program are you doing? Tell me more, instead of saying, hey, I'm doing Shift Shop, and I'm, eating the 21-day fix, and I'm drinking my Shakeology, and I'm doing all these things. Because what they do with that is they Google it, and then guess what? They're buying from another coach because they Googled it. And you just gave them everything, and now you're no longer like a resource, something, helpful to them, because you've given them everything. So leave room for questions. What are you doing? And I love that, because it's so easy. Even in my videos, sometimes I'll start it with Shift Shop, and I'm not going to do that. I think, if I'm going to do a new program, I want people to ask about it. Or if I'm going to start a new eating plan, I was watching something with Autumn Calabrese with the 80 days obsession. They were announcing that it's coming out in January, and she was talking about this new eating plan, and it made me go, I want to know more. But of course, she's not sharing everything. And now I want to know more, because she's going to make the eating plan even easier. So that was kind of like, oh, I get it now. I now want to know more. So that's what I need to present to my audience, is making them want to know more.
Yeah, I love that. That's good. And that's the way I started this business. Like if you said, I remember, getting in and just remembering and I'd be posting all of this stuff. And then I got on this call with Jatana, and I actually put that in my coach training. And it's the one where she's like, don't do this and don't post that. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm doing everything I'm not supposed to be doing. So it's in that call. And but that you don't post. Here's what I'm doing. That's the way we started. And then Melanie Mitro started doing the opposite. So we kind of followed what Melanie was doing. And now we're reeling it back in with what you're saying that Shailene was saying. That's good. Good. Anything else?
That's all I have for now.
Okay. All right, Melinda. Sorry that you cut off. You ran out of battery power, huh? All right.
Yeah, I did. I didn't have, it was just more about finding your audience, and speaking to that one person, and not trying to be everything to everybody. So they were really, talking about you being specific and your own brand and that sort of thing. That's not something I've necessarily honed in on. Trying to figure that out. because I don't know exactly who I'm talking to, sort of. So that's the other takeaway I had was that you need to really find who you're speaking to and really hone in on that first and go from there. So a lot of the speakers that I listened to, and I went to an extra thing Thursday, I think. I went to an extra conference, and that was the same thing that they were saying. It's just your brand and that sort of thing. So, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that that's good too. I mean, and even like in the season that I'm in right now with just lots and lots of ministry, lots of church stuff. So I mean, obviously, whatever it is, it's kind of like if you take a trip to Disneyland, you're going to be posting a lot of posts on Disneyland because that's where you are. And so with me being in ministry, and that's where I am, and I'm focused on the material that I'm giving, whatever it is, that's just what overflows. So my posts so much lately have been introspective or things that God's given me or my viewpoints, and it is attracting my like market. It's attracting people that love the Lord and want to hear what I have to say. And that's what I was saying to these girls right when you got your power back was, even if you're a boot salesman, you know, and you're just posting about all your leather boots and your pink boots and your purple boots, all the people that love boots, they're going to come and watch your post, and then they're going to form that relationship and just love you. So I think the biggest thing is that sometimes we can get lost in Beachbody, where Beachbody is just everything. And then sometimes we can lose who we are because we're so focused on diet and exercise, you know? So maybe just a thought like, finding those things that we like, or, you know, like with our kids and things like even mirroring what you were saying to just the effect that it's had on your kids, and to know that your very son, you know, is like saying these words and repeating the words that Chris Downing is, you know, or Casey with homeschooling. There's so much of who you are with homeschooling and just pouring into your kids and loving them so much. And there's other people out there that you know, do the same thing. And I think that's a big deal, you know. And I know that that's what skyrocketed my business when I very first started, because I had watched Chitana, I watched what she did with the business, but I was always true to who I was, and I formed that following, and then I jumped in, and then they all just kind of jumped in, you know. And then now I'm at a place where it's like, okay, it's, you know, okay, we've got to continue that, but yeah, it's good.
Interesting. I know I didn't go to Summit, but my mom called me the other day. Have you ever heard of the book Jesus Calling?
Oh yeah.
Well, she was working through one of those, and through all of this, you know, I've really been introspective and really trying to figure out, you know, where I am, who I am, whatever. And the whole devotion was about, as humans, we seek understanding. And we seek understanding so that we can master whatever task we're doing, and that we need to let some of that go. And that just resonated with me so much, because I was doing that. I need to understand and master Instagram. I need to understand and master Facebook posting. I need to understand and master running groups. And I was trying so hard to understand everything there was to understand about every little piece, that I wasn't getting mastery of any of it. And then when I would master one piece of it, I would completely feel overwhelmed, because there was something else I had to master, and something else I had to master, and, you know, so many moving parts. And the devotion was saying that, you know, God doesn't necessarily need us to understand, that we just need to trust the process. And, you know, whatever that is, if there is something that we're working towards, we just need to do the footwork and move forward, trusting that the result will come.
Right.
Not trying to say, well, God, I need to understand why you're doing this. If I can understand it, then I can control it and I can deal with it. And when she read that to me, I was floored at how much I was doing that. I need to understand every little piece in order for me to be a successful coach. And so hearing that last week really kind of helped flip my switch. And Melinda said the same thing with that 5-second rule. Stop overthinking it. Stop overthinking it. And funny thing is, I just downloaded that book last week.
Oh, wow.
Trying to get myself back
I haven't even
into
heard of it.
it.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to start it tomorrow too, because I
Okay.
just finished The Miracle Morning.
Very
It
good.
literally has been everywhere. I went to dinner with some friends the other night, and he's in business. He works for credit card places, and like he was a bigwig at PayPal and stuff. And we were at dinner for a girlfriend's birthday, and her husband was talking about that book, and I caught just a little bit of it because I was having a side conversation. And Robert elbowed me, and I was like, "What?" And he goes, "That book." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I'm like, "All right, I'm going home and ordering it." And it was on back order because things like that, I have to have a book. I have to like be able to take
Yeah.
notes and things. I can't do the auditory for that. So I ordered the book, and it was on back order for 2 weeks. So I was totally bummed, but it just got here, I think, today. So I'm going to start it because
Awesome.
I think it's obviously talking to me. It's everywhere. So,
That's good.
but yeah, so I think most of it is all of us are just trying to get our feet under us. We're all just trying to figure out how to do it our way with a system. I heard Tulin Emery talking about that sometimes you ask somebody, like, how do I do this? And they tell you how to do it, and then you're still looking for the rabbit. Like, they show you the magic trick, and you're still looking for the rabbit. Like, you want something else, when I think we're overcomplicating it, and it really is simple. And I know me personally, I overcomplicate things, and I need to stop doing that, and I need to just simplify it. I need to just pour into people. I need to just keep doing my thing and sharing it, showing that the products work, talking to people, pouring into them, and just do what the vitals, and just keep the consistency and all of that. You just have to do it and not expect that there's going to be some magic potion somewhere that we all keep trying to find that golden goblet. It's not there. So we just need to do the fundamentals because we know that works. And it's the same thing in our fitness. You know, if you put aside the dumbbells and you put aside the cardio and you put aside the meal planning, then we know it doesn't work. There's a breakdown. So we just need to keep doing what we know works and keep trying to find our own footing. I think that was another thing kind of from Summit, is that there's so many different people successful. There's so many different types of people coaching and doing this, and they're all doing it because the audience is there. Their audience is there. Their audience isn't my audience. My audience isn't theirs, and vice versa, and all of that. Plenty of people out there to help, and that's what, you can't be thinking, oh, well, so-and-so knows this person and that person. There's plenty of people out there to help, and that's the way we just need to see it, is that it's not going to be one cookie cutter way to do it.
That's right.
So
That's right. I love it. All right, girls. Thank you for being on longer than what we normally do, especially to talk about my issues. But I needed help. And I feel so much more motivation, not only in my own health and fitness journey, but also with business and being true to ourselves. And these are great, great tips. I mean, really, it's back to basics, but you guys have said it in a new way. And I think that's awesome. It never gets old. So I appreciate you girls. I love you girls. I'll let you guys I'm going to let myself get to bed. I don't know. You guys are East Coast or West Coast and middle of the country. Y'all can party it up, but Mama's going to bed. All right. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye guys.